Hello everyone. This week recitation is about homework 9 part 2. Homework 9 part 2 is related to chapter 9, competitive markets. In this chapter, we are focusing on learning the characteristic for competitive markets, especially the profit maximization rule. And you should always remember that the profit maximization rule for competitive market, that is price equal to marginal cost equal to marginal revenue. And also at the end of the chapter, we learn at what point the firm which is located in the competitive market will decide to shut down. So the condition is the price equal to minimum average variable cost. So working this chapter's homework, you will have better understanding about what we learned in this chapter. So let's look at our first question. And you can see this table, and we have total output per month, price, total revenue, total cost, total profit, marginal revenue, marginal cost, average total cost, and profit per unit. And so you should realize in this table we still want to add two more columns in order to have better understanding of these computer producing firms. So what are they? So the first column I suggest you to add in is the column for the variable cost, because we don't know where is variable cost. Variable cost. And beside the variable cost, one more column is about average variable cost. So by adding these two columns, we already have a very complete picture about the cost of producing computers. So in order to know what is variable cost, we need to know what is fixed cost. So fixed cost, based on what we learned in previous chapter, and we can very easy to find our fixed cost by looking at our output when the output equals to 0. Because the total cost associated with an output of 0 represent the fixed cost of the firm. That is what we've learned. So we know if we have 0 output and we have total cost equal to $60,000, so that must be the fixed cost. Because before we have production, we need to buy the machine and we need to rent the place to run the factory. So the machine and the rent for the place are all counted as our fixed cost. So the fixed cost is $60,000, and when we have 0 output, we don't have variable cost. So when we have 100 output, and we can find the total cost is $90,000, so this total cost equal to the variable cost plus the fixed cost. Since the fixed cost never change as we increase in the output, and so here should be 6,000, and we have total cost is 9,000. So we know the variable cost should be use 9,000 minus 60,000. We got $3,000. So they are the variable costs. So the first cell here is $3,000. And how about the next? How about the rest of the? So you can use the same method to calculate the rest of the variable cost. So I will help you to do that. So we have then following that we have 70,000 and 120,000 and 180,000, 260,000, 360,000, and 486,000, and 660,000, and the last one is 859,800. How about our variable cost? Average variable cost equal to the variable cost divided by the output. So when we have variable cost equal to $300,000, and we have the total output is 100. So we use $30,000, $30,000 minus 100, and we get 300. So our average variable cost is 300. You can use the same method to do the calculation for the rest of the average variable cost. So we will have 350, 400, 450, 520, 600, 694.29, and 825. And the last one is 955.33. So that is, we finish the creating the two columns into our table. So now let's look at the first question. So what were the fixed costs of the production for the firm? And as we know, I just mentioned, that is when we have output equal to 0, the corresponding total cost is our fixed cost. So that is $60,000. And the next, at what rate of the output was profit per computer maximized? So in order to answer this question, we need to look at the last column, profit per unit. Then we can find the profit per unit keep decreasing. Keep increasing, and then when we reach to $400, and it started decreasing. So obviously the $400 is our at the point when the profit per computer will be maximized. So corresponding this $400 profit per unit, and we found the output is equal to 400 per month. So at what rate? So that is 400 computers. So now let's look at the next question. At what output rate was total profit maximized? So this is a good question, right? So we know if the total profit can be maximized, we need to know the profit maximization rule. That is price equal to marginal cost equal to marginal revenue. So if you go back to look at the question, and we can find the price equal to $1,000, and now the marginal revenue is $1,000 as well. Now we want to find at what point we have the marginal cost also equal to $1,000. So we can find $1,000 here. So corresponding to the $1,000 marginal cost, and we can find the total output is 600. So we can write down the 600 here. So we have 600 output rate. And the next question, how much total profit did the typical firm earn? So to answer this question, we need to go back to look at our table again. So when we have 600 output, and corresponding to this 600, and we can find the total profit 180,000. So we don't need to do any calculation. We can write down $180,000. That is the amount of the profit the typical firm earned. The next question, at what price would the profit have been 0? In order to answer this question, we need to use another formula to calculate the profit. So the profit equal to the price minus average total cost times the output. You can find this formula on your textbook, and you need to get familiar with. Normally we use another formula, that is revenue minus the cost, total cost. But for this formula, we can very easy to answer this question. So in order to have the profit equal to 0, either the quantity equal to 0, obviously is not what we want. Another way is the price minus average total cost equal to 0 will also give us profit, 0 profit. So if we convert this equation to, we can convert this equation to price equal to average total cost. So which means when price equal to average total cost, we will have 0 revenue, 0 profit. So now let's go back and look at the relationship between the price and the average total cost. So the price is $1,000, right? So if you can see, we cannot find here. So but here we want to find the average total cost, which give us the lowest average total cost, because In the previous chapter, we learned the production curve, the cost curve, and we know the profit maximization point is at the lowest average total cost. So the lowest average total cost is $600. So $600 is our minimum average total cost, which means the price equal to our minimum average total cost, and we will have zero profit. So the last question, at what price would the firm have shut down? And we know once a firm is no longer able to cover variable costs, it should shut down production. Therefore, in the textbook, we learned the shutdown point. So the shutdown point is that when the price is equal to the minimum average variable cost. So now you know why I ask you to add 2 more columns to our question, because we want to find the minimum average variable cost. So we can find the minimum average variable cost is $300, right? So the $300 is our minimum average variable cost. So when the price equal to our minimum average variable cost, $300, and the firm will shut down.